It's time for our daily dose of cope, and we're here with Chichi Kachiyama, and one of the faces on her plate is saying, I voted for you. Why is ICE taking my family? There are so many MAGAtinos in this story today, so we're going to jump into these stories. I'm not going to start with the MAGAtinos because I'm going to end with the MAGAtinos. But I am going to start here with this tweet from this person named Palace. Palace says, I was wrong about Trump. Entire Trump family are nepotistic, extractive grifters. Probably sets crypto back a decade after leaving office because those crypto bros really went all in because he is a grifter. This person says, getting us into another large scale conflict in the Middle East after he campaigned against the Iraq War and foreign wars for other nations. Instead of securing the southern border like he's promised for a decade, he's unleashed a Gestapo into American cities, which barely put a single drop in the bucket of immigration, but did successfully bait the right into cheering on a federal police state where white vans show up and take people off the street. Campaigned against the deep state as the enemy of the people, and then worked with Palantir to increase federal agencies' domestic surveillance on Americans. The entire MAGA campaign was a fraud. We got duped. Feels horrible. And I literally hope that you feel horrible every single day. I hope you wake up stressed with stomach knots. I hope that your cortisol level goes up 3 to 7 notches. And I do hope that your waistline increases 3 to 7 inches as well. So this is a post from the Leopards Ate My Face. This mixed martial artist, Sean Strickland, was very pro-Trump during the election. After Donald Trump got convicted of 34 felonies, he called that a travesty. Here he is now responding to one of Donald Trump's lie social posts. So Donald Trump says, we now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran. Iran had good sky trackers and other defensive equipment and plenty of it, but it doesn't compare to American-made, conceived, and manufactured stuff. Not sure why stuff is in quotes. Nobody does it better than the good old USA. And so then Sean Strickland at the bottom says, America doesn't want to be involved in Israel's war. This is not our war. We don't want it. You were elected by the people. Listen to the people who elected you. We don't want this. Now we have Texas Patriot. This is a tweet. He says, F it. If Trump takes us to war, I'm done with him and his administration. I voted for no wars, cheap gas, no taxes, cheap groceries, MAGA. What of these things has actually happened? I'm pissed. But what's going to happen if you're done with him in this administration? It's not like you can vote them out. So does this mean that you are not going to vote for Republicans come midterms? That's what I really want to know with these people. I doubt that that's the case because like Anna says, you're so right. Let's trade him out for Camel Toe Harris. That's what she's calling Kamala Harris. But this is what Texas Patriot says. Texas Patriot says, not what I said, dumbass. So what's going to happen? What's going to be the consequences if you're done with this administration? I do still believe that these people would still vote for him again. Nick the Nuke says, don't forget mass deportations. And the Texas Patriot says, yep. SJ says, I'm losing all hope. There's no Democrats or Republicans. They're all the same. And to that, Texas Patriot says, facts. But I do not believe that a Democratic administration would be doing this. We literally just got out of a Democratic administration, and we did not have all of this chaos. Their day-to-day was kind of boring. I kind of miss boring. Don't you kind of miss boring? ICE is coming down on people in their workplaces because they weren't able to find all of these millions of criminals that they promised that they were going to get rid of. So in order to try to keep up with the 3,000 deportations a day, they're now just raiding people's workplaces, farms, and that kind of thing. Ty says, good night, America. Love ICE when they get the nasty little guys called Cholos, Spix, and MS-13. Bye. Leave out our great guys in the barns and vineyard alone, please. Just saying. You have more targets to go after, and some of these good guys are family to us. So they really think that ICE is sitting up here differentiating. They really think that ICE is really going after criminals. No, ICE is going after brown people, and that is it. I know that this dude feels dumb as hell. MAGAtino voted for Trump. Now his wife is deported. ICE deports wife of U.S. Army Sergeant He now regrets voting for Trump. She had work permit and military parole in place requests, was separated from her 10-month-old son anyway. Putting my life on the line for this country wasn't an easy decision. Honestly, I just feel betrayed. Now her husband has to sell everything they own to reunite mother and child in Honduras. Shirley Guardo was tricked into being detained by ICE in the first place when they pretended her car had been in an accident in her work parking lot. In 2023, U.S. Customs and Immigration Services approved her petition, making her arrest a complete shock. These people should know and understand that they are just coming for people, even people that were trying to do things like their paperwork and go through the process, because we live in a racist country, and Trump and Stephen Miller are literally just trying to get rid of brown people. This is a brown man. This is a MAGAtino. He voted for Trump as a non-white person. These people really think that they are tangential to white people. Spicy mayo, if you will.
Selling everything he owns and moving to Honduras to be reunited with his wife and their 1-year-old son.
A chill that came down my spine. It felt almost as bad as finding out that she got taken in by ICE, but at the same time, I have the possibility of going to see her again.
That's exactly what Isaac will be doing as he prepares to leave the United States and move to Honduras to be reunited with his wife, Shirley Guardado, who had been in federal custody for more than 3 months. I spoke to Shirley on FaceTime, and she tells me it's been difficult. She was taken from Montgomery Processing Center in Conroe. She had both her hands and feet in chains in a plane full of men. She says there were only 7 women. They were taken to Louisiana, then back to Texas and El Paso, and then to Honduras.
This administration, they're being heartless. They're targeting people coming out of their cases, their hearings. I don't know, they're out of control right now.
Correa says he is disappointed in President Donald Trump as he voted for him and trusted that he would only target violent criminals. In addition, he served this country as an active duty member of the U.S. Army.
It is actually exhausting. Putting my life on the line for this country was not an easy decision. And I honestly just feel betrayed.
In a video shared with us by Noticias Telemundo, it was caught on camera the moment Shirley touched down in Honduras. While she's free and Isaac can call her at any time, for now, video calls will suffice until they meet again.
Now let's do this post. Erica Gonzalez of Chicago, U.S. citizen and child of 2 Mexican immigrants, voted for Trump to stop Venezuelans from straining Chicago public services. Now she may lose her neighbors to Trump's mass deportations. I know that it's been a challenge in Chicago, the way the red states took a bunch of Venezuelans and then just plopped them down in the city. So I do understand the frustrations that people had. But this is the story of Erica Gonzalez. It says, Erica Gonzalez, who manages a nearby barbershop with her husband, voted for Trump because she liked his tough immigration policy. Born in the United States to Mexican parents, she's concerned about the strain put on public services in Chicago by a large number of new migrants from Venezuela under President Biden. Ms. Gonzalez supports the deportation of those with criminal records, but despite her vote for Trump, she says she's not on board with mass deportations, especially not of immigrants who have built new lives over decades. They are her neighbors, and she doesn't want them targeted. There are a lot of people who come to the USA to work, to have a better life. People follow the rules, pay taxes, she says. Some people have been here 30 years. They have their own house. They have a small business. What's going to happen to them? They are going to get deported with everybody else that is brown, because we live in a country that is racist, and they're not delineating between criminal and non-criminal. They're saying you're brown, you gotta go. I'm going to keep highlighting this sign, mass deportation now. This is what they want. He even said bloody mass deportations. The fact that they really thought that they were only going to come after criminals means that they deluded themselves. They were living in Delulu land, and now they are going to see their communities get wrecked. I've talked about this woman before. This is Cynthia Hotm. Cynthia Hotm has a dad who was undocumented and he's terminal. He got picked up by ICE and they will not let him out. Here she has like a 4.5 minute video. I'm not going to clip the whole 4.5 minute video, but she starts to explain how she got to the point of voting for Republicans. These people have literally deluded themselves to thinking that they are one of them. And that is the problem. They believe that they are spicy mayo, that they are tangential to white people, and they're getting their come to Jesus moment at this particular time to see that they are not special and they're going to be treated like they're coloreds. Period and point blank. So here is a clip of her story. If you want to see the longer version, let me know in the comments. I'll put it on tomorrow.
I feel like living in South Florida, surrounded by Republican voices, I was brainwashed into thinking I was one of them. I fell for the propaganda, the normalization of cruelty, and I believed the lies that gave me a false sense of security and belonging. I was convinced that voting for Trump was for the economy or against crime, when in reality I was supporting a man and a movement that dehumanizes people. He basically built his platform on targeting immigrants, spreading hate, and pushing policies that ultimately broke families apart. I regret my vote so deeply, and if I could go back and change it, I would. My vote wasn't...
I will vote for no